Good
Good
afternoon,
evening,
Australia.
Texas.
I'm
Oh,
trying to get you.
sorry.
I try to beat you every time.
I know. Sorry.
Well, it is afternoon in Australia and it is nighttime in Texas. And
Yeah. And I'm keeping
uh,
you up.
what?
I'm keeping you awake.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. And it is summertime there and it's
Yeah, look at
wintertime
my
here.
lovely
You look
short
like you're in
sleeve
Hawaii.
shirt.
Yeah. It is cool and rainy here in Texas.
Yeah.
This is the fourth day. We're about to just float away.
Well, in San Diego, they've had lots of floods too, like
Yes, they
recently.
have. Yes, they
And
have.
and it's been so cold in so much of the world.
Well, you've been to so much of the world. Why don't you just give us a little briefing on where you've been?
Well, we went to we well as you probably know, my son Toby was studying in Iceland, and so we went to Iceland for Christmas because we didn't want to have a Christmas without him. So
When there was a volcano.
yeah, yeah. Well, we didn't
Yeah.
actually see the volcano, but it was pretty exciting. We saw a little bit of a red tinge from the side of the road.
Okay.
We weren't allowed to go anywhere near it.
Yeah.
And so we had a white Christmas there, and it was wonderful. I
So
love
that
being
was like,
cold.
is that like the first white Christmas you've really ever had?
No, no, because I was born in Greece in the mountains, so I had
Oh,
three Christmases before I even moved to Australia. But
do
I
you
don't
remember
remember.
them? No, I
No.
didn't think so.
And
I
I
didn't
had
think
I
so.
had I had a couple of white Christmases when I was studying at the University of Illinois,
Okay.
and they were great. I love white Christmases because the thing I loved is that so in Australia when we have Christmas, it's the end of the school year as well, and there's all this stuff around the end of school year, so it sort of overtakes that. But also it's light, like in Australia it's light until 9 o'clock. So you have Christmas lights, but you don't really enjoy them as much because you go to
Right.
bed. Whereas in Iceland it was dark at 3:30 p.m.
Yep.
So when the Christmas lights came out, you had them out for ages. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
it was so sweet. I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How nice. And then after Iceland, tell us where you went.
Well, we went to England and Spain and France and Italy.
Yep.
Yeah. And my son Emilio had a cross country run in Monaco from one end to the other.
And that was Emilio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I was
Yeah.
keeping up with you on the old
Yeah.
Facebook. Cool.
Yeah. It
Cool.
was it was it was a great trip.
Well, I'm glad you're home, and I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that we're back on Iridology around the world.
Yeah.
You
Bring it
make
on.
this show come to fruition when you say around the world. You
Well,
really,
we are around the world.
I'm just sitting here in Texas waiting on you to come home,
Well, I'm just sitting here in Wangaratta waiting for you to,
come
put on
visit.
your Zoom. Put on your Zoom.
Oh, you're killing me now. Okay,
Oh,
and we
I
we
think we've got a beautiful set of eyes to look at today.
we do. We've got some eyes.
Hmm.
We're going to find some other iridologists to talk to, and we will have a whole gaggle of iridologists at the IPA symposium. So
Yes.
be looking for us. We may come on live and do a Facebook live that way, but
Mhm.
then we'll probably do some recordings with our iridology colleagues out there in San Diego.
Yeah,
So
it's going to be great.
it is going to be great. I can't wait to get
Less
there.
less than it's about 4 weeks. 4 weeks away.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
well let's jump on these eyes.
Yes.
Um, I've got an eye here and an eye there. Let's see if I can. Oh my goodness! Oh, there they are. What do you know? What do you know?
Oh, what a lovely left eye.
Let's see. I'm trying to arrange us here. There we go. I wanted to get our pictures out of the way so I could see. This is a young lady that's around 24 years old, just newly
Mhm.
married, so she's a newlywed.
Awesome.
Um, she works. She stays pretty busy in her
Yeah.
job, in her career. She is in the human resources business. So she's very active as a runner, although she
Good.
doesn't really have a runner's body. She doesn't have a runner's body, but she stays very active, and she just completed recently a half marathon. So
Right.
yeah, she's very much with it. She and her husband both runners.
Yep.
So do you want to start us off?
Well, I mean, if we start off physically, it's a ferrum chromatose constitution,
Mm,
and you can see that with with the rings and the tiger striping. But the
mhm,
first thing I noticed was the beautiful lacuna or beautiful flower at 6 o'clock.
mhm,
And what a great so this makes the kidneys her one of her primary nurture points.
mhm,
And I've got this as one of my primary nurture points too. And the fact that it I can't use my cursor because you're sharing your screen, but the fact that it comes up into the collarette at 6 o'clock, and then on the other side of the collarette, if we look at the opposite, the collarette does droop a little bit. I'm going to guess that maybe she gets headaches if she doesn't have enough water, because that's something that happens with me, and I've got very similar symptoms.
That is very true.
Yeah,
Yeah, she really has to stay hydrated.
yeah,
Number
yeah.
one, because she's a runner, but in the office, she stays very hydrated and drinks water
Right.
as much as possible.
Let's stay hydrated.
Mhm,
And and it's interesting that she's got such strong resiliency in many parts of the iris,
mhm,
but just at one little well, big lacuna at 6 o'clock, so it really stands out.
mhm,
Um, yeah, so I would think that would be one of the primary things that you would need to work on with this lady.
mhm, mhm. And
Mm,
with those contraction furrows popping like that, that's another reason to stay hydrated, especially with those muscles, and to
yeah.
keep those muscles uh, in good working order as much as
Um,
possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Yeah,
she
yeah.
she'd be. I mean, I don't know this lady myself, but she'd be a real doer. Like a someone who loves a good list and loves achieving.
Hmm. Hmm. I think she is a high achiever. Now, her complaint when she came to see me, her biggest complaint was probably the digestive system.
Yeah,
Now, in great detail, as much as I can go into, um, she did not. She wasn't very forthcoming with the actual problem. So, was it constipation? Was it something like diarrhea? Was it something like reflux or indigestion, anything like that? She did not disclose that,
yeah,
but she did talk about a lot of cramping and
yeah,
pain
yeah,
associated. So she started eliminating things from her diet. She started eliminating things like gluten, and she got rid of a lot of heavy meats, like animal
mm,
meat. She wouldn't eat steak or
yeah,
anything like that. But she stuck with carbs because of the running.
yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look at the digestive zone in a physical sense, that there's the ring of perfection there. So she'll obviously have possible issues with her digestion and her
Mhm,
absorption.
mhm,
There's the collarette is jagged, so that's going to be lots of times of up and
mhm,
down emotionally
mhm.
and physically digestive wise. Hmm.
Behaviorally, I would like to
Yeah,
point out at the left eye, the 6 o'clock position where the large lacuna is, right in perfection. And she is very much a perfectionist, very much so. And we have a little bit of, it is hard for me to even tell just by looking, and I'm on my computer here and I've got her pictures, I just don't have them blown up. Is this a pigment at the top? It does look like a pigment to me.
I think it does too.
On the right eye, though, it does look like a radial furrow in that 12 o'clock position. Both of those positions are going to be in the stubborn position. And
Yeah,
when I asked her about her parents, and she did divulge, yes, she has two stubborn parents. So she said, I'm going to really get a double dose, I feel like,
yeah,
of the stubbornness. But then I look over here, where again, that's another pigmented area. It does look like a radial furrow somewhat, but it's more pigmented to me than anything else. And that is in that listening and counseling area. So we've got a listening area here, we've got a counseling area here. And she, I will tell you, is very good about both of those. Now, counseling, not so much because of her youth. Okay. She hasn't been here a long time to gain a lot of wisdom at the ripe old age of 23, but you can see that she's collecting information right now
Yeah.
that when she's older, in 20 years from now, you're going to see that wisdom key just kind of turn and open,
Yeah.
you know. So we'll see that from her in later in life. But the listening area where we have this pigment very much on, she is a very, very good listener. And you can tell when she's listening, you see those wheels just turning in her head.
Yeah.
And then we have self-reliance here. And she is very self-reliant. So when I addressed the behaviors with her, it was just spot on. She was like, yes, that totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. And what you're saying about the physicality that we're talking about totally makes sense.
Yeah. Cool.
One of the things that I try to convey to my listeners on Iridology Quickie is to not sit and pick out every little feature that we see.
Same.
Because our clients will leave and they will just be so deflated. They'll just feel gutted, like, oh my gosh, woe is me,
Yeah.
doom, despair, agony on me. We will lower them rather than raise them if we sit there and nitpick every little mark that we see. Do you think
Yeah.
that?
Absolutely. And with this lady, if you literally just worked on kidneys and digestion, she's going to feel fantastic.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
You don't have to work on everything.
you've got a couple of 23-year-olds, don't you?
20, almost 21.
20, okay, almost 21. Okay, I'm trying to age them, I guess.
You
So you
are.
understand what I mean when I
Oh
say
yeah.
that the ripe old age of early 20s, you have not gained that wisdom yet. That's going
No.
to come with living, learning,
Yeah.
loving, eating,
Yeah,
drinking,
sometimes I'm
thinking,
amazed at
loving.
what comes out of their mouth.
Oh.
Incredible. It's like, wow, where did that come from?
They do. They've got if you listen to these kids, now they're kids to
Yeah.
me, they've got this great vision
Yeah.
and they've got their eyes on the future. And I love hearing about that.
Mm.
So while I know this young lady and have dinner with her several times a month, and she invites her other friends, and there's a whole host of them that are school teachers. They got out
Mm.
of uni and jumped right into teaching,
Yeah.
and they are
Yeah.
so valuable, and they listen. They listen to us, but in turn, we've got to listen to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And the thing with the advice I give her is don't sweat the small stuff. I mean, it's easy to say, but like she's got the perfection at 6 o'clock. She's got the perfection ring, the Rayed perfection ring.
Mm-hmm.
She would ask a lot of herself and others too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And she does. She really puts herself out there to achieve and to be the best. And she's incredibly, incredibly smart.
Yeah.
Um, and she surrounds herself with other like-minded, smart individuals.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
she's an achiever. I mean, she really sets those goals and she's making them right now. And I'm really happy to see this for her. But I think a lot of what is driving her is internal um, self worry.
Yeah.
Am I doing a good job? Am I going to get that raise? Am I going to get to do this? It's constant internal.
Cool. Yeah.
She doesn't say a lot. She doesn't say a lot. So when we look at these lacuna that we see and we think, well, we've got a little flower here. She is a little
Mm.
flower, but she's very quiet, very,
Yeah.
very quiet. So she's not boisterous and loud at all. Yeah.
Let's look. Can we see her right eye?
Do you see the right eye?
No, not yet.
Okay. Do you see it now?
No. Might have to close the left one.
Okay, let me find it again. Here we go.
Oh, lovely.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Did it go
And there's
away
some,
or is it still there?
no, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. And there's some other beautiful flowers there.
Yes.
Almost makes her collarette look like a little fish.
Yes.
I wonder if fish would be good for her.
I don't know.
Well, I've never thought of that before, but I'm wondering. But so she's got a lot of orange in her eye, even though she's got the snuff tobacco. She's got a lot of orangey color in her eye, and she's got those beautiful flowers at 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. So the pancreas is going to be a nurture point for her too. So she really needs to um, watch how she feels emotionally and physically with sugar, having
Mm-hmm.
highs and lows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I bet she's a real sweet person. Like she's just like a,
Incredibly sweet,
yeah, yeah,
incredibly thoughtful and
loving.
caring. Yes, very, very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
often when I think of the pancreas as a nurture point, often often tell them that, like people with eyes like yours are usually related to people that, have had pancreatic, or blood sugar issues, but also they're very loving because the pancreas wants to be loved and wants to love others and wants to
mhm.
feel appreciated and yeah, so it is very important for her to think about how her how her work will look at her and whether she will get that raise or that job and
Mhm.
etc. That they really want to be nurtured and appreciated, not overlooked.
Absolutely. I'm
Mm.
sorry, I just closed it, but that's
That's okay.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're spot on with that.
Mm.
That
Mm.
yeah. Wow,
Awesome.
we did a lot today.
Yeah.
I think we covered a lot
Yeah.
without picking out everything. We picked out
That's
things
right.
that stood out.
Yeah. So if she was a client of mine, I'd work on the pancreas, the gut, and the kidneys.
Hmm. Hmm. Yep.
Whether I'm giving her lifestyle advice, whether I'm
Mhm.
giving her herbs, whether I'm giving homeopathy, we don't have to focus on every single little marking. Not
No,
not
you
all
know
at
what?
once.
It works better for us if we take one thing at a time.
Yeah.
We can do multiple things and we'll see these things working. We're the best gauge for them. But when we pile on too much, then it's a lot of things get overlooked. They get put on the back burner. You get tired of taking a handful of pills here or having a whole bunch of oils here or doing a lot of this and a lot of that. You've got to
Mm.
really make that as a
Yeah.
lifestyle change.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thanks for that. Thanks for bringing those eyes to
Oh,
us.
well, I'm so glad that she could do that for us. You know, this is
Eyes around the world.
we yes, yes. We learn from our clients. Our clients teach us so much. We've just got to be open to
All
receiving it.
right. Well,
Keep
we
that
look forward
bowl
to seeing
turned
you
up.
again. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yes, we'll do this again next week. And so again, keep looking for us because we're going to be at the IPA Symposium. So
Yeah.
excited.
And if you haven't booked yet, come to San Diego. It's
Oh,
four
yeah.
weeks.
If you can't make it to San Diego, at least join as a hybrid attendee.
Yeah.
Sign up to do that, and watch it. Watch the IPA Symposium in your pajamas if that's what you want to
And your moccasins.
do. I might be in my pajamas right now. Nobody knows.
No, I'm not. I'm at work. Anyway,
Well, I'm
thank you,
glad that you're
Kathy.
home. I'm glad you had a great trip.
Okay.
All
We'll see you
right.
soon.
Okay.
Bye
Bye.
bye.